Dudes and dudettes. Now this is the right ballast. Not too long from now, I would have to, start looking at ballasting that whole behemoth in there. And now that I've got more or less my track length sorted out, I did ballast a piece and I weighed the ballast, and it worked out to, at the end of the day, if I do everything there, between 1.4 and 1.8 tons of ballast is what I'm going to need. Now, this is the ballast that I really, really love. This is from Karel at Train. This is grey granite ballast. This is that real thing. This is what they should look like. You see the sharp shards and the flatness of the ballast. This is very good ballast. However, there's a slight problem. This is half a kg and it's $60. Well, 60 Rand in our money, which means that it will cost you 200,000 Rand to do that layout in there. It's just crazy. It's just not an option. Now, before this was also commercially done back in the day, ballast that a friend of mine actually sold here as gauge 1 ballast. And I remember distinctly that he did this out of Crusher Run, and he sifted it and got to this sort of, he actually did HO ballast, and this was the leftovers, which he then put into a bag as gauge 1 or LGB ballast. They're slightly smaller than those at the bottom there. But even this was like 40 Rand a bag. It's half a kg. To me, it is just impossible to do that whole layout. So I had to look at other things. Now, yes, I've been through swimming pool sand. Doesn't work for me. I did find a product that, to my eye, is not too bad. And that is cat litter sand. This stuff. Now, I don't know what they make this from. But also you see there's sharpish shards in it. It's not all round. It's actually a very pretty. This is the sifted bit. I sifted them out because I used it unsifted, straight out the bag. And I ballasted this piece here. But now, before I show you that piece, this is all that color. There's only 2 colors in here, grey and a grey, a slightly darker grey, but this is the colors. So it's very, very, it's like an albino. It's just white. Okay. So me and my other half decided that, look, we need to make a plan with this. And she does chalk paint and stuff. And we got this. This is Petit Rouge vintage paint from old Eve there in Randburg. Exceptional paint. Look, there's a lot of chalk paint out there. I've used this for a lot of things, and the coverage on this, because it's so pigment rich, is just phenomenal. Look, it's by no means that I'm giving Eve a plug here or whatever. I probably am, but this is a bloody good chalk paint. It hasn't got the oiliness of some of the other stuff that's on the market. It covers brilliantly, dries quickly. It's just, I'll show you now how good this stuff is. Okay, so we took a couple of colors, that and that, and there was a reddish color. I think it was this one, yes. And we chucked it all in different batches of this cat litter, and we colored it. All right, so after the coloring, look, the tracks is as much part of the modeling journey as anything else. The trains or the rolling stock or whatever the hell it is you build, the tracks is an integral part of that. You need to model that too. So it's got to look better. So yeah, okay, so we colored it and we came up with this. All right, okay, I put some grass and crap in there just to give it some interesting stuff to look at for a photo. But now you can see all the reds and the stuff in there, and I actually weathered the sides with mixed pigments, the Trax Rust, which is a good color, very good color. I did some work on the sleepers, just slightly, just a powder and a quick wash. And that's what we ended up with. But my other half did take a picture of this. And she superimposed the colors and stuff. And it tended to pick out the large bits, the really large rocks here, these. And it looks sort of funny. So I went and I bought a, what the hell is a sieve in English? A sieve. Yeah, there's things that the women bake with, man. And then we did the same thing. We colored it with a Petit Rouge. And we came up with this. So this is where we ended up with. So you still got some white pieces in between. You got the blacks. There's every quarter, every fourth batch, we put a little bit of red in just to make it interesting to look at, I guess. But this is what we ended up with. And I ballasted the piece this afternoon with the smaller pieces. And number one, it's much easier to make it neat. And this is what we ended up with. Okay. Now that, to me, at the price, is good enough. Look, I did nothing to the sleepers here. The sleepers is as per. I haven't weathered the sleepers. So even if that was done, it would even look better. But you see, it goes very neatly. All the big pieces are out. You have basically 2 grades in here now. So it's the medium stone and the fine stone. In the middle there you can see some of the fine stone and stuff. And because it's cat litter, it's very absorbent. So when you do this, and it's a hot day like today, and you start ballasting with a 50-50 glue and water mix, wood glue and water mix with a normal dishwash liquid, you know the normal sort of thing, within an hour, this is dry. You can touch it. It's dry. And then obviously you have to touch up a bit because it absorbs so much. You get things like that where it doesn't glue because the glue is all absorbed by the rest here before it got there. That is a minor problem. Now I want to show you something else. I took this chalk paint here, this one. What is this called? Rococo. Funny names. And I weathered the track because that other rust is a very rusty color. I actually prefer this color. And I'll tell you what, I run that brush over this aluminium track without anything under it, straight up, one go. And it covers, boom. There's no marks or whatever. And then later on when I did the top here, you got a sand to sand it off, eh? So it's very sturdy stuff. Very good paint. So I'm going to use that to color the stones and to weather the tracks. And this is going to be, the net result. I think that I'm actually quite happy with that. And then there is the price. It's 80 Rand for a 10 kg bag, which means, and I'm sure I'll get it cheaper if I buy bulk from whoever is going to supply me. Now it works out. After the sifting and stuff, this is what comes out there. And I weighed this is 5.8 kg. So out of a 10 kg bag, you get about 6 kgs worth of ballast. The thick stones like this, the big stones I'm going to use as dump stone in the crusher. And that's basically that. I only sifted it twice. Only this out, and up to this. So for the ballast, this is what I'll do. And I'll definitely find a place to use that. So, dudes, what do you think? Yay, nay? Look, I am open to suggestions, but it needs to be cheap. I mean, at that amount of ballast, it's crazy. I want to go to my buddy, old Anton Opperman at Opperman Sandy and Benoni. I want to go to him and go get some sample stone from him that I can, run through the sieve and see what comes out on the other side. If there's round pieces like that or if they all go flat. I don't know. I'll see what I can do. There's still a couple of options open, but so far this one is way ahead for money per meter. You know, if you buy bulk sand, you know, stone, that will be cheaper. It'll be even cheaper. But you got to get the right amount of stone out of there, and it's got to look more or less right. So yes, this is the first option. We'll do a couple of these and see where we end up. So tell me what you think of this one, and then I can show you closer there. You can see what it looks like. All right. Tell me what you think. And come with other options. All right, dudes, we'll speak later. I'm going to bed. Okay, julle oukies. Bye-bye.